All right, so here we are. We're going to turn the main power on. We've got it here. The main power is now turned on, 200 amps, 208 volt, three phase. Now we're going to turn the power on to the main computer, to the system. Now you can see how it's booting up over here. All right, zero adjustment, inspection. Now in cold standby, meaning that it's not hot, so the barrel's not going to turn, it's not going to run. And by the barrel, I mean this piece right here. So right now you can see that it is backed out, it is cold, and we're not doing anything. So now that we've got this set up, we can see our keypad down here. We've got it in off mode. It's showing the temperature on the screen. We could go to monitor. It'll show us a little bit more data, but we're interested in the temperature right now. We've got our 5 zones across here. Basically it's 70 degrees. This is all Fahrenheit. You can see where the temperature is setting inside the barrel. Our hopper is 69 degrees and our oil is 71. So everything is pretty much stable for the system. It's been setting overnight. All right. So we cannot do any kind of zero adjustment until the machine is warmed up. So back over here, we're going to raise this door back up. We've got our heater section here. We're going to turn our heaters on. We're going to leave the pump off for right now. When we turn the pump on, we're going to push that button. We're going to leave it off until we get to start getting it warmed up. So at this point in time, here it's about 140. Okay, we're going to say now cold start prevention is working, standby. And so the question marks, it's kind of weird the way they do their software, but they put a question mark on each side of the statements they're telling us. All right, there are our zones heating up. You can see that zone 1 has already hit 81, 82 degrees. It's going to go through and start warming each one up, and we're looking for that green number beneath each one. That's our target. It's going to take us about a half hour to be able to get to that screen. So while we're doing that, we can look at our hopper here. And if you can see inside our hopper here, we currently have no material inside the hopper. So while you're looking at that, I'm going to get the bucket. We've got some very rewrite material. So here is some regrind that we ground up from some parts that is the right material. This is polypropylene. And so we ground this material up. You can see that sometimes you get a little bit of other colors in it. Here's a piece of purple. I'm going to pull that out. We're just going to take this and scoop this up in here. And I'm going to dump this in the hopper. I think I'll use a ladder. No reason to spill it all over the place. This is a pretty big hopper for this machine, but it's one that we have. We could put a smaller one on it. So that's going to get us a little bit. We're going to do a couple of buckets of it, just to have some material to load into the barrel. All right, one more. Do you want to show up down inside there? Okay, so we've got about a half hour to wait, maybe a little bit longer, and the machine will warm up. During that process, we'll take you on hold, and for you it'll be a moment later, for us a half hour. See you in a little bit. Okay, so as you can hear, for you it's been a couple of seconds, for us a little bit longer. It is now cold start screw prevention has been cleared. So we're going to go ahead and push the off button. We're going to silence it. So now everybody is happy and we're good. So over here we're going to show you what we do is we're going to open up this door again and we're going to go ahead and turn the pump on. Let the air compressor quit making noise here. The air compressor is not related to this machine. All right, so now you can hear the pump is running. And now, back over here is our chiller. We have our chiller hooked up. We've got red and blue lines coming in. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this guy on. And I don't know if you can see it or not, our set point for our water is 65 degrees. And we're chilling it, and you can see it's already dropping down to 65. It was at 70. So we've got our chiller running right now. Get that running through the system. You can hear our chiller kick on there just a little bit. So it looks like we're good to go here. I'm going to go ahead and push mold height. I'm going to push because this is a mode. This is displays. If I just wanted to display it, I could push this button and it would show us our stuff. But I actually want to make a change. It's going to flash up here and it's going to say, please confirm the position of the core. And we're going to push reset. We are good to go. We're set on 0 adjustment. So you can see it says 0 adjustment start, push reset key. All right. 0 point adjustment is now going on. This is our standard setup. You can see right here where it ejected out some material that was in there, which is good. You can see it's kicking out a little bit more right here out of the end of it. I'm going to close this up. It's always good to be safe when you're purging it, keep that door closed. I want you to be able to see it. So, right now it says 0 point is going on. We're going to pull this, open our material, let it start feeding material in. So the material that came out of this thing is just some clear that we already had in there. You can see it's slowly squirting it out right here. It's trying to do it. So it's building up a little pressure because it's hot in there. So we're just going to let it do its thing here and it's going to set it up. See it building pressure right there. So everything is going on just the way it should. Reset button, confirm the course position, 0 complete. Okay, we are set. Open this up here. You can see where it shoved out a little bit of material. Shoved out a little bit more. We've got our tip right there. Tip is nice and clean. So that all looks excellent. This is just a little bit of the raw material. This stuff is very hot and it cannot be reused. We cannot grind that up in our grinder. I don't want to break anything or cause anything there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and over here on the panel, I'm going to put it, it's in mold height right here, and this panel is the same as the panel over on the machine. So I'm going to put it into off, I'm going to put it into manual. I'm going to go and tell it to charge. And it's trying to charge a little bit of material into the machine. So if you can see, back up in here, there's a piece that's turning, and so it's turning the screw right now, shoving material into the machine. And if you look back over here, underneath, you'll see where we're purging out material. And so look right here, and you can see where it's charging it. And so we have red material in there, and this is just running out that clear. And it's making a nice little pile for us. Again, extremely hot, 400 degree plastic. And it looks really neat, but boy is it extremely dangerous. All right, so we're going to go ahead and tell it to charge again. I just close this again. Close the manual. See if it'll charge for us. Alright, well, it's acting like it's already got material. It's got enough in there. Tell it to do an ejection. And there it ejected it, and it squirted it right out in there. So it's not got enough yet. And it's not going to let us do that with that door open. Okay, it did a little bit more. Off manual. Okay, it's doing another charge. There you can see it coming out them blocks. Just pushing the old plastic out. We did a purge on it when we shut down. It still had a little bit in it. Alright, there, looky here. Now we got some red coming out. Alright, so we do have new material making its way through the system. So we've got it charged up. We got the material setting out there. We're ready to go. We'll just set that all right here and let it cool. Once it touches, it becomes permanent in there. I'm going to clean that tip off. Alright, so now we're going to advance the nozzle. We're going to put the nozzle in its place. We're going to let it run up in there. I'm pushing, got it on manual, and I'm pushing the advancement button. I'm going to sneak around the camera so I can see. So it's going to stop when it gets up there. I'm going to say it's happy. Alright, we are there. Now, if we want to look at our mold, I'm going to tell it to open the mold up. I had it all the way open, or all the way closed. We can see what our mold looks like. So we're gonna close this thing up, and we're gonna tell it to do a manual. And we're gonna put it in semi-auto and tell it to do it. So if you want to watch here, I'm gonna tell it to close the mold. And you're gonna watch it slide up there. All right, and we have a mold clamp here. And if we were to look at our screen over here, we'll see on our screen, we'll see the actual stroke distance. It's 0 inches, meaning that the two pieces are together. The height of the mold is 15.83 inches, and we're squeezing with 140 tons of pressure. So we are good to go. Let's go back to our temperature screen. Looky here, so 419, 420, 408. We are within 2 or 3 degrees on every single band of being exactly where we want. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to put this. If we basically it's in off mode, it's ready to go. I'm going to put it in. Put it in off. Now I'm going to push semi-auto, and you got to push it twice. All right. So now it's doing an eject. It's going to squirt plastic into the mold. All right. Go ahead and watch it here. Building up something right now. Over here on our page. 7 inches. We're pushing it to 3.9. I hit right at 4 and sucked it back just a little. That's what we want to do. We just slight pull back. Now it's in the flow space. All right. So we're good. All right. So we did not make a part because our first one, it's just getting it filled out. All right. Closed up. All right. It's now doing it a second time. This should be our first full good part coming out of it. Might be slightly not filled up all the way just because it'll be the first part, meaning the mold didn't get filled with plastic. So you can see the red and the black lines going to our mold, and that's our water lines keeping the mold cool. We've got red coming out on top, basically, and black, which is equivalent to our blue line on the bottom. Hey, there's our part. Looky there. We got our first red part out. And these things are always nice and warm, so I'm going to pick it up with a pair of pliers. And this is what our part should look like. Looks very nice. Let me turn this off so it's nice and quiet. And we got great fill on all our pieces. And so this is a 4-cavity mold. I'm going to clip the second one off. Lay this one back down because it's still pretty hot. Let me just hold it with this. So they turned out very nice. So this is our brick red for a part. We do custom logoing right there on top when needed, and put a sticker on the inside for our product identification. And this turned out really nice. Turned out really a nice looking little part. Okay, so we've got our mold now open. We finished that. Now we can put it in full auto mode. We ought to be able to kick out a couple of pieces. You always got to push it twice. All right. Now it's running here. I'm going to push the monitor button on the display. So I'm going to push. This is the display setting of the keypad. I'm going to push monitor, and that's going to tell us what's going on. It's looking really good, and it should, they're good. Itself and start it up on the second one. So these particular parts, when they cool down just a little bit, we've got some good cutters here. These are from the company called IMS. They're a big supplier in the injection molding world. So we put those off, and then the strap piece here will go back into the regrind. We will literally grind it back up and make more parts with it. All right, so that'll do it for right now. We're going to make a few parts.